Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. We're hitting a new year, and you should, at the same time, come in with a new attitude, a new philosophy that you're going to make money when the stock market goes down. That's right. This is the third bubble, and you don't think it's going to crash? The first bubble did. The dot-com, the second bubble, the housing and financial con. Why do you think the third bubble, which is twice as big as the two previous bubbles, is any different? It's not different. Matter of fact, it's worse. It's going to go down faster. The stock market is going to go down 50%. You're going to lose 50% of the money you have in the stock market. You're going to lose 45% of the equity you have in your home. You're going to lose 30% of the money you have in your savings. Yes, you are. Trust me. Join my gang, Phil's gang, so that we can show you how to benefit, how to profit. But you can't just sit there and own a stock. You got to learn how to short the market. Join my gang. Learn how to short. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. What is Phil's Gang? philsgang.com is a subscription website service that host Phil Grande has been teaching and providing daily stock investment recommendations for over 15 years, all in the name of making its customers educated investors and helping the kids at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you want to take charge of your financial future, then do not wait any longer. For only $49.95, become a Phil's Gang member today. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I'm going to tell you something about your 401k that you don't know. You know the 401k is a tax code? That's what it is. Here's how it worked. In the 80s, you had pension funds, but they decided to give their CEOs a benefit on top of the pension. It was called 401k. That was to shelter their income. That way they could keep the CEOs because it was very competitive. But when all the jobs were shipped overseas, they no longer could keep pension funds. Too expensive. So they shifted all their employees to a 401k, duping you, thinking it was a good deal. But what they did is they charged hidden fees, which amount to about $250 billion a day, that they gave to lobbyists to go to Washington to make sure that this 401k would never be transparent. Here's what came of it.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
That's right. So join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything will be taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Do you ever notice they always tell you to buy, but they never tell you to sell? They never tell you to sell. Well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you understand. When you buy a stock, and if all you do is buy, and you never sell short to make money where they're going down, you have to be so good. That means you got to buy the companies that are always going up. Nobody's that good. Nobody could possibly be that good. You got to make money just like you make money when you buy a stock. You got to make money when a stock goes down. That's how you even the playing field. That's how professionals make money. They make money going up and make money going down, but they don't tell you that. They just want you to try to make money going up. They don't want you to make money going down because they make that money on you. Join my gang, Phil's Gang. Learn how to short stocks at philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I'm here to help you. I'm tired, and you should be tired, of listening to these financial shows like CNBC where they're all geniuses and they're always wrong. Look, stop worrying about the price to book and the price to sales and all the stuff they tell you you think you need to know. You don't need to know any of that. Anybody can make money in the stock market using charts. It's about money flow. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know we're going to have not only a stock market crash in 2016, but a housing crash in 2016. Don't you like how they tell us the housing's in recovery and the market's in recovery and the economy's in recovery when it's not? It's in a bubble. Take housing. They loaned to a Wall Street firm called Blackstone. $7 billion. They buy 41,000 houses to go rent. Are you nuts? When they can't collect the rents anymore, Those houses are going on the market and going to depress the real estate business by 30 or 40%. It's the same thing with stocks. They loan people money 600% more than they ever did before to buy stocks. That's all debt. And when the market goes down, they're going to have to dump those stocks to pay back that debt. And boy, will the market drop. Join my gang. Learn how to short. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. You know, many people left the stock market after the crash, and here's why.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
And that's still going on. That's your planner. They don't represent you. They represent themselves, your money manager. But you have to make a change. You can't change them. You make the change. Join my gang, philsgang.com, so that we can take care of you. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
We've seen a lot of really good economic news in the past couple weeks, and also some really good revisions where the consumer is spending more, particularly for December and January. So,
unbelievable. Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country, off the Wall Street Radio Network. The market's down over 208 points, and she's trying to tell us she's finding good fundamental information and how well the consumers are doing. What is she, nuts? You know, at some point, you would think they would tell the truth. But the media doesn't tell us the truth, that's for sure. The financial shows don't tell us the truth. Our own Federal Reserve doesn't tell us the truth. She says, it's good? Are you kidding? We have manufacturing, industrial production. It's tanking. And tanking. We got retail sales, household spending, disposable income, durable goods, all in a huge decline. That's amazing. Good full-time jobs declining. And when you have good full-time jobs declining, that causes wages to decline, wages to stagnate, no overtime, therefore no manufacturing, no industrial production. They cut it back. It means retail sales cut back, household spending is cut back, disposable income is cut back, durable goods is cut back. What is she talking about? Factory orders are the weakest we've seen in the last 10 years. We have the weakest manufacturing and industrial production, the weakest orders in 10 years. Now, they mask our terrible growth rate and the consumer spending. They mask the amount of part-time jobs that are being created. They mask all that. It's incredible what they do. So that's why it's important when you listen to these people, you just say, look, all it is noise. You have to filter out the noise. It's like a good judge. What makes a good judge? A good judge, he filters out the noise. He filters out the garbage and he looks at the facts. What does a good investor do? He filters out the noise. He looks at the facts. The one fact you can't look at, okay, or the facts you can't look at, the ones that are given to you by Wall Street. We've been lied to. We're always being lied to. The chart will tell us something different. Give you an example, GM. If someone said to you today, hey, you better buy GM. Better buy GM. And they give you all these reasons. No, you wouldn't. The only thing you can go to is look at a chart. Because if you look at a chart, you want to know if T. Rowe Price is buying GM. if Bank of New York Mellon is buying GM or JP Morgan or Franklin Resources or Dodge and Cox. That's what you want to know. And it's showing they're not buying it. So you don't. Now here's something that's really interesting. Listen to this.
The stocks in general, the big five, are down 20% on the year on concerns on energy, on credit, on a lot of different problems.
But she says things are good. Previous to that, right? This woman says things are good. Now listen to this.
First to Chipotle, just got downgraded today to sell at Deutsche Bank. Let's bring in Karen, joins us now. Why today? Why was now the time to say get rid of this thing?
Well, I think obviously they had their media blitz, and the media blitz kind of started around February 8th, and the stock has acted incredibly well since the media blitz began, and it just seems to us that there's a euphoria that is reflected in the stock's price today.
Give me a break, euphoria in this price. Look, this is interesting. CMG is the symbol. The sell signal on that came on our charts was on October 14th to $739. And then it dropped to $399. So if you were with the gang and this was the stock you were following, that's a 46% drop. So you could have shorted it and picked up somewhere 40%. Selling it short. And you would have, it was a perfect sell signal. No question about it. Perfect sell signal. The sell signals are never wrong. There was a recent buy signal on February 11th. Around $465. Today, it's around 400. I just used for today. We'll go up, say 515. 515. So it's already rallied 10%. And we had a buy signal. Now they're telling you not to buy it. And she says because there's euphoria in the stock. No, that's not euphoria in the stock. What's in the stock is money coming in from the institutions. See, the problem is they're always making a story. Somebody wants this stock to go down. That's what these guys do. It's called painting the tape. They'll come out with a story like that to make sure you sell your stock. So the institutions have big orders, and they want to fill those orders, so they're going to paint the tape to make you sell that stock. But with a chart, you certainly wouldn't sell the stock. Now, what you would be doing today is taking a lot of your profits. You'd be selling into the rally that started back on February 12th. You'd be selling into it. Now, why would you be selling into it? Because the stock, much of the rally, were the people who shorted the stock, bet the stock was going down, they're buying their own stock back. And unless we see a signal where the institutions are going to come in and buy more of it or accumulate more of it, then we got to say, okay, right now it's a short covering rally until we see the institutions like Dodge and Cox and Northern Trust come in and accumulate more of it. We're going to take profits. See, so a chart will guide you. You make decisions based on money that's going in and money's going out. Not these dopes. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's like Yellen. Yellen knew that the U.S. economy was not recovering. Why? Well, because you need a functioning banking system to have a functioning economy. Bush didn't give us a functioning banking system. That dope. Nor has Obama. What they've done is propped up the banking system to benefit themselves, the 1 percentile. That you can't have a recovery. I told you back in May, and then again July, that the economy, the market was going to start collapsing. We'd have a correction. We did 14%. Why? Because we never had a recovery. Because we don't have a functioning economy. We don't have a functioning banking system to get a functioning economy. What we have is a banking system that functions just for the 1 percentile, not for Main Street. And that is why we now have a country with no growth. Do you know that? We have a no growth country. Our country doesn't grow. The only thing that grows is the stock market. But that stopped in May of 2015. I confirmed it in July of 2015 when I said, let's short the market. The crash is coming. The government has done nothing more than create a phony economy that's been completely dependent on zero interest rates, on quantitative easing, on the ability of companies to go in and borrow money from the Federal Reserve at zero interest to buy their own shares back, on the ability of Wall Street hedge funds, those gangsters, go to the Fed, borrow billions, millions of dollars at 0% to speculate. See, we don't have a functioning economy because we don't have a functioning banking system. We'll talk more about that when we get back. Subscribe to my gang, Phil's Gang. 15 past the hour on Phil's Gang.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by philsgang.com.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. The market's down 201 point. You know, it's interesting. Like I just told you, Yellen has no clue what she's doing. She knows there's no recovery. She knows there hasn't been a recovery since Bush got out of office. They did nothing but stall our slide to a deep recession or even a depression. That's all they did. They just stopped it. But Wall Street and the financial shows market this thing like, oh, 2009's behind us, 2008's behind. Everything's all fixed now. Larry Summers, who was Obama's guy, his economic guy, and then Geithner, they were supposed to come up with this great plan. And the plan was the same old, same old. Take care of the banks, but don't take care of Main Street. The idea, well, you take care of the banks later, then you take care of Main Street. No, you develop a plan where you reflect what Main Street wants. You put in place in your cabinet people that will reflect what Main Street wants, not what the banks want. What they did is put Geithner, who was from the Bush administration, who was responsible for the meltdown, and they put in Larry Summers who was also with Geithner, by the way, under the Clinton administration, who deregulated the market, by the way, deregulated the banks. And one thing they've done, and when Obama took over, remember, he promised he was going to make changes. He went to Wall Street and said, we're going to make big changes. It's going to reflect what the people of America want. And he was going to hire Volcker to do that. And Wall Street was scared to death of Volcker. No, he didn't hire him. Instead, he goes and hires these two gangsters, Geithner and Larry Summers, who are owned by the banks. And see, Obama had no choice. He had to hire these guys that would reflect what Wall Street banks want, not what Main Street wanted, because unlike Trump, remember Trump, he's not funded. He funds himself in this campaign. Obama never funded himself. The banks funded him. So because when they put their plan together, the plan was always, how do we make the bankers bigger? How do we make the bankers richer? And how do we make the banks so they're too big to fail, they're too big to jail? But nothing was there. How do we create more full-time jobs? How do we stop sending our jobs overseas? How do we stop companies from sending jobs overseas? See, nobody cares about that. And so that's why we're not in a recovery. We're still in that slide down the hill towards a deep recession or a depression. But nobody gets that. And that's why it's important. You can't listen to Wall Street. You can't listen to your planners, your folks. You listen to the money. You listen to the money. You listen to Vanguard. You listen to T. Rowe Price. You listen to Jamie Dimon. What's that mean? Listen, you follow their money, and then you buy the stocks when they buy you follow them when they say follow. When they say buy, you buy. When they say sell, you sell. And when they say run like hell, you run like hell. It's that simple. So Yellen knows there's no recovery. Now, here's what's really interesting. They faked this 200% stock market rally since 2008 to mask how bad the economy is and to mask what they're doing for the banks. So they started all their accounting tricks in 2009 from changing the accounting tricks, or changing the accounting from mark to market to mark to model. They changed the accounting standard rules where the companies didn't have to deduct interest, or the banks didn't have to deduct interest, didn't have to deduct taxes, depreciation, amortization to get their profits. They adjusted and did all these accounting tricks, and they adjusted all these accounting standards called EBITDA, which stands for you do not deduct interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So everything was set up for, hey, to make the banks bigger. And here's what really gets me, this. Listen to this.
The people of Iowa and New Hampshire and South Carolina have spoken, and I really respect their decision. So tonight, I am suspending my campaign.
They were stunned. They were stunned. The Bush dynasty was stunned that he did so poorly in South Carolina, where they said he was loved. What is it that the Bushes didn't get? I'll talk about that in a minute. But first, let's go to Stock Corner.
Stock Corner is brought to you by the Phil's Gang video channel. Go to philsgang.com, click on the video channel graphic, and check out Phil's free videos on the market, economy, and current events.
Okay, remember, you can subscribe to Phil's Gang. Just go to my site, philsgang.com, or you can call right now, 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG, where Denise will help you and Steve will help you. And don't forget, we have a wonderful program for those people who say, I'm so busy, I can't learn anything, I can't do anything. You just got to do everything for me. Well, we have a program. It's called the Working Investor Program, where you invest in the 500 best stocks in the world. They're in one basket. It's called an exchange-traded fund, the S&P. And then you're coached. The group is coached every day. You have a personal coach every day that guides you through the S&P 500. When the market goes up, we know we buy. When the market's going down, we sell short. The 500 best stocks. Now, you can enjoy all of our programs as a gang member, but that's where I suggest you start, especially if you're so busy you don't have time to do anything, and you finally say, you know, I'm sick of Wall Street. I'm not making money with my 401k. It seems like every time I do, I give it back. I'm going to try this. And that's what you should do. So, and then what we do is in that program, we're continuing with other exchange-traded funds. Like one of the exchange-traded funds we're watching today is our industrials. Because our industrials and our energy, the two of them, those are the ones that are going to rally first when this market does recover at some point. So check it out. Go to my site, philsgang.com, and you can subscribe to my site. When we get back, we're going to take a look at GM, and we're going to continue about Jeb Bush.
What? $264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Everybody was asking me, how did I know to short Ford when it was November? And it was when Aunt B was telling us everything was fine. Well, what people didn't know is Aunt B was lying to us. Because when she was raising the rates, machinery sales were down 5.6%, computers were down 8.7%, communication equipment sales down 21%. I took a look at our chart and I saw that institutions were pulling money out of Ford. So we said, let's short Ford. And we did that in November, on November 10th, because my charts told me there was a big sell signal, and we took advantage of it. And you know that stock Ford has now dropped 17%. That's the return my gang has now, 17%. Don't follow any of the jibber-jabber from CNBC or the Fed. Follow me. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Everybody was asking me, how did I know to short Ford when it was November? And it was when Aunt B was telling us everything was fine. Well, what people didn't know is Aunt B was lying to us, because when she was raising the rates, machinery sales were down 5.6%, computers were down 8.7%, communication equipment sales down 21%. I took a look at our chart and I saw that institutions were pulling money out of Ford. So we said, let's short Ford. And we did that in November, on November 10th, because my charts told me there was a big sell signal, and we took advantage of it. And you know that stock Ford has now dropped 17%. That's the return my gang has now, 17%. Don't follow any of the jibber jabber from CNBC or the Fed. Follow me, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
AMVA, and I've lost over 30K on it, but it had excellent earnings the last several quarters. And if they make the cameras and drone equipment, I don't know why it's so weak these days.
It's so weak these days because you don't pay attention to what they make. You don't care about their earnings. The problem is the institutions are pulling their money out, and that's all you need to know, and that's what we identify in the chart, and that's why I become a Phil's Gang member.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
They just told us right away that we're going to house you, we're going to feed you, and every single one of his medical bills is just all taken care of.
Saber que el tratamiento es completamente gratis nos quita una preocupación de encima.
We have phenomenal research, outstanding clinical care, and the generosity of public, which allow us to treat patients regardless of what it takes. And that's what makes St. Jude so magical.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food, because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything's been taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
There is only one talk show host, Phil Grande, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grande. philsgang.com. Phil Grande is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grande. philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Welcome back to Phil's Gang Radio Show. For more information, simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
So we just got to see what we're going to wake up to Monday morning. I mean, we just don't know what these characters are going to do come Monday morning. I mean, there's no reason we can't wake up Monday morning and we could be gapped up 300 points. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. Welcome back to Phil's Gang. We woke up. That was Friday. That's what I said to my subscribers, that we may wake up with a big rally. And we did. And I told you yesterday, look at this. Look what they did. Again, masking the problems. And now today the market's down 200 points. That was a lot of help, wasn't it? Look, if you're one of these people that think you're going to create some wealth and you're going to be fine with your retirement money sitting in the stock market, it's not going to happen. Not unless you take control. Because the market doesn't work the way it used to work. It just doesn't. All you need to do is just take the S&P 500, it's a trust, 500 best stocks, and just put it on a chart. And when the money goes in, we buy, money goes out, we sell it and sell it short. Give you an idea, GM, you can do it with an individual stock, which, by the way, you can't do with your 401k mutual fund. You can't do individual stock. GM, we had a strong sell signal on December 11th. That gave us a 25% drop. So we thought we had a sell signal. We don't care about the politics. We don't care about what's going on. All we know is if the institutions are pulling their money out, doesn't it make sense the stock's going to drop? And stocks drop much faster than they go up. So we set our subscribers up with that sell signal, and it dropped 25%. Now, it's gone up. It stopped going down. Now it's up over, well, it's up about now 17%. But guess what? We don't own it. Why? Because there's not enough money going in. It's not important just money going in. It's how much money is going in. What you have to discover with a stock is as money is going in, are the institutions, are they accumulating enough of it? And on a chart, there's a little pattern that tells you. On my charts, it tells you. It won't give you a green signal, doesn't give you a buy signal until it passed a test that says, okay, they're accumulating enough stock now. And then we get that signal, and then it's safe to buy it. That's what you should be doing. You should try it. So, again, subscribe to my gang. Why don't you start with that group first, the Working Investor Group. You have a private coach every day at 1:15. If you can't make it, it's archived, and he'll guide you along. He'll guide you along with that S&P 500 spiders. You can't. Once you do it, you're going to say, why haven't I done that years ago? Check it out. You can call right now, 877-600-GANG, and Denise is there, and so is Steven. Join the gang. It's only $49.95. Subscribe to it, and I think you'll be very happy you did. Because here's the problem. You know, it was interesting when Bush left office and Obama came into office, and he brings in Geithner, who's from the Bank of New York, and he makes him Treasury Secretary. And then within 90 days of taking over, Obama got in the White House, Geithner comes out with a plan. And his plan was, let's do the stress test of the banks. That was his first plan. What we're going to do is do a stress test, and then the ones that fail, what we'll do is we'll come in and we'll prop them up. We'll pump them up. Well, the problem he had with a stress test is that he never used one assumption. The most important assumption he should have been using in a stress test, he never applied it. What happens if interest rates go up? What happens to the banks? And the reason they never used that assumption in their stress test, because if they used that assumption, it would show the banks would go broke, go bankrupt. Because the banks were so illiquid. They're still illiquid. They're not functioning properly. They're not. So we have this big game going on now with the banks. Everything is geared to the banks to make them look healthy. Well, one day these banks are going to collapse. But it doesn't matter as long as you know how to sell a stock short. And you know, it amazed me, as I said, when we played the cut, Jeb Bush, I don't understand what's wrong with the family. They were stunned. The insiders said they were stunned as to how much he lost in South Carolina. The people in South Carolina loved them. What didn't they understand? Jeb, to have his brother campaign for him, is likened to giving Charlie Manson a 12-hour out-of-jail pass to attend a small, quiet party at a secluded Beverly Hills home this weekend. What are you, nuts? Going to have your brother come here? Maybe the Bushes have a short memory, but the people of South Carolina and the rest of the country don't. They still feel the pain inflicted by George Bush. He was responsible for the wiping out of $11 trillion of Main Street wealth, the Main Streets of South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, Colorado, Seattle, San Francisco. It was George Bush who wiped out $11 trillion of Main Street wealth. He was responsible for a loss of 8 million jobs. And he goes and he props up the banks with $256 million worth of that TARP money, the $636 million of TARP money. He takes $256 million, and he lied to us. He was supposed to take the $256 million and prevent the $7 million foreclosures. Instead, he decides to take the money. Him and his crony, Paulson, who was the head of the Treasury, who, by the way, before that was CEO of Goldman Sachs, and they take the money and they instead give it to the banksters to pay back their bonuses and salaries, the back bonus and salary. Then they take another $26 million and give them Christmas bonuses. See, people in South Carolina didn't forget that. It was G.W. Bush who propped up the largest segment of the economy, the Wall Street banksters, when he should have let them fail. Do you understand that the banks are double the size of manufacturing? The banksters have incredible power. So much so, they can't even be prosecuted, for God's sakes.
I am concerned that the size of some of these institutions becomes so large that it does become difficult for us to prosecute.
When you get banks so big, any business so big, any industry that big that you can't prosecute them, you know that something is truly wrong with the system, with your economy. And that's why we know that all Bush has done is he stopped us from sliding into a depression. Not permanently. And Obama has done the same thing. And don't forget, Bush, when he went to South Carolina, he brought back a lot of painful memories. The 2004 election, remember, wasn't decided by the people of this country. It was decided by the Supreme Court. And many people were denied the right to vote, especially in Ohio. Bush was also associated with a lot of pain. Not just the financial crisis of 2008, where he bailed out the banks, but he threw Main Street, America, and South Carolina under the bus. He did the same thing to the victims of Katrina. We left thousands stranded with no water, with no hope. Yet telling Brownie, hey, you did a great job, Brownie. Then fired him 2 days later when somebody told Bush he didn't do such a good job. Then comes Obama. The banks still are not in good shape. So Obama comes into office and lies to us, saying he would get tough on Wall Street and reform the banks. He would bring in Volcker to reflect what the people wanted. Instead, he double-crosses us and he brings in Tim Geithner and Summers. Why? To reflect what they wanted. And that's why you got to subscribe to our gang. Subscribe so to make sure that someone is looking out for your interests. Because this is where you're going to make money to retire, in the stock market. It's the only place you can go.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. We're hitting a new year, and you should, at the same time, come in with a new attitude, a new philosophy that you're going to make money when the stock market goes down. That's right. This is the third bubble, and you don't think it's going to crash? The first bubble did. The dot-com, the second bubble, the housing and financial con. Why do you think the third bubble, which is twice as big as the two previous bubbles, is any different? It's not different. Matter of fact, it's worse. It's going to go down faster. The stock market is going to go down 50%. You're going to lose 50% of the money you have in the stock market. You're going to lose 45% of the equity you have in your home. You're going to lose 30% of the money you have in your savings. Yes, you are. Trust me. Join my gang, Phil's gang, so that we can show you how to benefit, how to profit. But you can't just sit there and own a stock. You got to learn how to short the market. Join my gang. Learn how to short. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. What is Phil's Gang? philsgang.com is a subscription website service that host Phil Grande has been teaching and providing daily stock investment recommendations for over 15 years, all in the name of making its customers educated investors and helping the kids at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. If you want to take charge of your financial future, then do not wait any longer. For only $49.95, become a Phil's Gang member today. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. I'm going to tell you something about your 401k that you don't know. You know the 401k is a tax code? That's what it is. Here's how it worked. In the 80s, you had pension funds, but they decided to give their CEOs a benefit on top of the pension. It was called 401k. That was to shelter their income. That way they could keep the CEOs because it was very competitive. But when all the jobs were shipped overseas, they no longer could keep pension funds. Too expensive. So they shifted all their employees to a 401k, duping you, thinking it was a good deal. But what they did is they charged hidden fees, which amount to about $250 billion a day, that they gave to lobbyists to go to Washington to make sure that this 401k would never be transparent. Here's what came of it.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
That's right. So join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Doctors send us the toughest cases to be treated at St. Jude, and our patients come from all over the world.
When we come here, they told me, don't worry, everything will be taken care of.
We could never repay St. Jude for what they've given us.
Because of you.
Gracias a ti.
Because of you.
There is St. Jude.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You ever notice they always tell you to buy, but they never tell you to sell? They never tell you to sell. Well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you understand. When you buy a stock, and if all you do is buy, and you never sell short to make money where they're going down, you have to be so good. That means you got to buy the companies that are always going up. Nobody's that good. Nobody could possibly be that good. You got to make money just like you make money when you buy a stock. You got to make money when a stock goes down. That's how you even the playing field. That's how professionals make money. They make money going up and make money going down, but they don't tell you that. They just want you to try to make money going up. They don't want you to make money going down because they make that money on you. Join my gang, Phil's Gang. Learn how to short stocks at philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Anybody who puts money in my pocket is my friend. And Phil Grande can do the same for you. Learn how to grow and invest your money. Here's Phil Grande.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. You still have time to call 877-600-GANG. And you can talk to Denise or Steven. You can subscribe, $49.95. And we'll start you out in our program in what we call the Working Investor Program, where you simply buy an ETF, which is a basket of the 500 best companies called the S&P 500. It's the basket of this, all in one basket. It's wonderful. There's very little fees, very small, like 1/18 of 100%, so small. And where you're going to have your personal coach every day coaching you with the S&P 500, that group, that ETF. When to buy, when to sell, when to add to your position, when to get in, when to get out. Every day you got a personal coach. You can't miss with this. It works. At the end of the month, if you don't like it, if you don't think it's a good service, then all you've done is invested $49.95 in yourself. I think that's a great investment, but you determine that, not me. I don't have all the answers, but I can tell you one thing I do know, is that Bush never fixed the banking system. And you've got to have a banking system to have a good economy, and we don't. I mean, let me tell you, when Jeb Bush, I like Jeb Bush. I'm from Florida. He was a great governor. And he lost, I thought, because Bush, his brother, went to South Carolina, because people don't forget about Katrina. People have felt a lot of pain with the Iraq War. Almost 5,000 of our servicemen killed, maimed. People don't forget that. And why? Because the Bush dynasty wanted the oil through Halliburton. The Bush dynasty owns a great piece of Carlyle Group, a hedge fund, who's one of the nation's largest arms dealers, made a fortune in Iraq. You know, I'm not surprised he lost. Then you bring in Obama, and he lies to us, and he first tells us that he's going to bring people in to reflect what we want, not Wall Street. And he lied to us. He puts Tim Geithner in. Are you kidding me? First thing he does, he bails out Bear Stearns, and then he lets Lehman go bust, and he gives AIG $180 billion bailout. Well, who was he trying to please? not us. He was trying to please Wall Street banksters. They hated Bear Stearns. They hated Lehman. And they wanted to make sure the banks are more powerful, larger. And up to this day, they continue the fake economy, propping up the banks right now, today. My God, we have never fixed what took down Iceland banks when they went broke. China banks are ready to melt down. The bond market is going to melt down. But nobody talks about this on CNBC or other radio shows. Nobody talks about this. Scares them, I guess. But at least my subscribers are going to be in position when it does happen. I am telling you right now, we have not stopped with the 2008 meltdown. All we did is put like a block underneath the car rolling backwards. And that block is starting to slip. But every day we hear Obama, we hear his people come out and cheerlead us. So you know what? We put the noise away and we take a look at one of our stocks. We take a look at copper. Nobody wanted copper. Oh, it was a dog stock. Really? Well, guess what? We got a buy signal on February 11th, around $5. Today it's at $8. That's a nice return. That's a 60% return on copper if you're a subscriber. Now, I'm not saying every gang member got 60%. I'm not suggesting that. What I am telling you is that as a member, a subscriber, we identified copper. We identified when to get in. We identified that when the institutional money was coming back in. We're going to identify when the institutional money is going to leave. And when it does leave, you're not just going to take your money that you made and walk away. You're going to then make it on the backside, shorting it. Give you an example. We had a sell signal on November 5 of copper, FCX. It was around $12. It dropped to $4. A 66% drop in copper. You were able, again, we identified for our subscribers, the institutions were pulling their money out and it dropped. Now, I'm not suggesting all my gang members got that whole piece, but I am suggesting that every one of them knew. We identified where the sell signal was and where the opportunity was, and it's up to each individual gang member what their risk parameter is. Then we took AU, gold. Nobody wanted gold. Oh, gold was bad. Nobody wanted gold. Really? Well, how about this? We saw a wonderful buy signal. AU is our goal. We saw that on December 3rd. December 3rd, we saw that. AU. It was right around, I think, around $6, $7. $7, that's right, $7. Now $12. That's a 70% return. Again, I'm not suggesting every gang member made 70%. What I am suggesting is we have one hell of a site. We have one hell of a system. It's a chart. Charts that I designed. It has nothing to do with fundamentals. We don't care about the fundamentals of the company, and we don't care about the fundamentals of the country either. How can you? What difference does it make? We're lied to every day. So here we go. They take and they bail out Bear Stearns. They let Lehman go bust. They give AIG $180 billion to bail them out, to make the banks more powerful, more larger. Are you kidding me? And what did Obama tell us when he went in? What did he tell us? He said, boy, he was going to take care of these banks, and he met with the banks, and he's going to be tough on them. They're going to do what's right for the people. Really?
I did not run for office to be helping out a bunch of fat cat bankers on Wall Street.
And that's exactly what he did. So whether you like my politics or don't, I don't like Obama. I don't like any of them. I don't like the Democrats. I don't like the Republicans. There's not two parties. There's one party. What I like doing is teaching. I like reaching out to you so you'll reach the St. Jude. So when you make money, because what I'm teaching you every day, that you run to St. Jude and you donate to them. That's what we've been doing for 15 years. So whether they say whether you get this dope again.
We've seen a lot of really good economic news in the past couple weeks.
If you want to believe that, go right ahead. If you don't want to believe it, go ahead. What difference does it make? All I know is when I see a buy signal on Ford, or I see a buy signal on JetBlue, or sell it short. That's all we do. And what's wrong with that? So again, underneath all of this stuff that's going on right now, since George Bush has been out of office, Obama's nearly out of office, nothing has changed. We still have, underneath all this, we still have no business investment. Still, today, the wheels are coming off our major industrial sectors of manufacturing, of mining, of utilities. Wheels are coming off our capital goods orders are going down the toilet. Factory orders are weak. They try to mask the increase in part-time jobs from 4 million to 8 million. There has not been one new manufacturing job created under Obama since he's been in office. In fact, the 12.3 million manufacturing jobs reported was still 10% below the level of December 2007, nearly 30% lower than the 17.3 million manufacturing jobs reported in 2000. Give me a break. So banks are getting bigger. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo are nearly 80% bigger than before we bailed them out. And that's when Obama said to us,
I did not run for office to be helping out a bunch of fat cat bankers on Wall Street.
Really? That's not being a fat cat, making them 80% bigger? That's one good thing about Trump. He's self-funded, like him or not. What you will like is being a subscriber to my gang. That's what you'll like. Join my gang. Subscribe. 877-600-GANG. The phones are open. Denise will talk to you, and so will Steve. Subscribe.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me.